There was a time in our country's past when it was much easier to recognize a good guy from a bad guy. There was a time when nearly everyone was united behind the common cause of freedom. There was a time we did not celebrate diversity and difference, but were united as one people, Americans. There was a time when people took a stand against wrong and stood up for what was right. There was a time when elected or appointed leaders were leaders. There was a time when our children were our future, not pawns to be used in ways to promote selfish, special interest. There was a time when our children were taught and they learned useful and valuable lessons in our schools. There was a time when corruption was exposed for what it was, and people fought against it. There was a time when freedom meant something, and it was cherished by all those who enjoy the benefits of those who fought and died to establish and maintain that privilege. There was a time when God, country, and family meant something. There was a time when good work ethic was all you needed to succeed. There was a time when honesty was the best policy, and what was right, and what was wrong, and everyone knew and understood the difference, including politicians. There was a time when principles were more valuable than money. There was a time when the system worked. There was a time when the majority ruled and special interest referred to your hobbies. And there was a time when I, me, and mine were less important than we. There was a time when the flag was meant to fly and not walk on. There was a time when patriotism was more valuable than corporate profits. There was a time when the Constitution was the law of the land, and it, and as well as the Bill of Rights, were more than adequate to serve their purpose. There was a time when our sovereign nation was more important than the UN. And there was a time people's rights and states' rights held sway over Washington's whims and wishes. There was a time when corrupt politicians were held accountable for their actions. There was even a time when politician was not a four-letter word. There was a time when leaders led, and they led the right way. Everyone had a conscience and a moral compass that pointed in the right direction and united us as one. It seems the time is long past since we followed our compass. Some of us continue to try and do what is right, but until we are unified in our efforts to stand up to the wrongs that are being committed in America and fight back, then we will continue to lose our rights and our freedoms to the unethical, corrupt, immoral politicians that have been elected and appointed to lead us into the future. A future filled not with promise and light, but one of darkness and needless pain. There is a time to act. There is a time to stand up and speak before it is too late. That time is now.